Okay, let's see, my Warren Haynes story. I'm sure everybody in Nashville's got a Warren Haynes story. A lot of people know Warren Haynes a lot better than I do. But, he was an acquaintance that I knew from way back. I truly don't, I've talked to him some, over the years, but not a lot. I don't know him that well. Mainly when he first started, I did. Let's see, it started back years ago when there used to be out towards Merriman Avenue, towards on the other side of Asheville, used to be a club I worked at called the Cosmic Ballroom. The manager's name was Brad, and I worked for him. Across the street was Doc's Rock Shop. A lot of people, if somebody's watching this from years gone by, they'll remember this. But Doc's Rock Shop was a disco club, and Cosmic Ballroom was across the street was the rock and roll club. Well, I used to let the bands come in and set up and practice. And there was another band, I think it was called The Creek. It was called Sugar Creek. The guitarist for that band, they hit fairly pretty big, and I think later they were taken. Madcap was the name of the band that I used to let in down there. The guitarist from that band went on to join the Sugar Creek, which became the Creek, and now I think some of the members now are, or at least one of them is in Too Much Sylvia, that band there. Anyway, so there's been a couple claims to fame, I guess, for Asheville. Biggest claim to fame for Asheville, for sure, is Warren Haynes. He's gotten the key to the city, and he's been on the list of Rolling Stone magazine. I think he was 23rd, I guess, on the list of 23rd on the list of the greatest guitarists of all time. My story starts back in when I worked at the Cosmic Ballroom. Like I say, I would let him and his band in. It was Ricochet. And a lot of the stuff is not that well known. It's probably known around Asheville, but a lot of you can go on the internet and you can tell how he gets started and everything. But this part, I think, it's not very well known. He doesn't talk about it that much. But he would take his band would come in. They were kind of like the house band. They would stick around for several days instead of just playing there one day. And he would take I think the lead singer, if I get this right, was Danny Phillips, was the lead singer of the band. And they went on to form Dixie Deluxe, was another. Anyway, Warren would take in, like I said, he would play in Ricochet, lead guitars for the band. One thing, was that he had one other job other than playing guitar. His whole life he's only had one other job, and that was Kentucky Fried Chicken. He worked there for a week, he told us. So I guess that was his only try at something else, And luckily for all of us, he stuck to playing the guitar. And like I said, he would hang out, and the band, Brad and I were always talking to him. The band were, like any other rock and roll band, they were always fighting, discussing stuff, And we kind of asked him, because you'd hear these guys going back and forth, apparently what they were fighting about, And he said, well, that's how we get things done, That's how they, so they were, I think they did a tour of some sorts down towards Florida, down that way, and had some extra money. And I think his dad had loaned him some money for some equipment, and they were discussing as to what to do with the money. I think some of the band members wanted to invest it in, better equipment, and some of them wanted to repay his dad back. So needless to say, I'm not real sure which way they went and everything, but I think later on, when he did hit it really big and everything, I think he bought his dad like a white Mercedes or something. So his dad was definitely paid back for helping him out at the beginning. I think Danny Phillips, I used to be, years ago after I left, working at the nightclub and everything, he used to take in Danny Phillips, I was working at a retail store, and he would come in, and we were always excited because he would tell me, you know, how well Warren's doing and what's going on. I think the most important thing was, you know, when we knew he was hitting it big was on MTV. Every now and then we'd see him on there. And I won't go into the story of, you know, his whole career and everything, but I think his biggest claim too is, you know, there's definitely Government Mule, you know, and I think it's the Warren Haynes Band now. And every year he has the Christmas Jam that he comes back to Asheville during Christmas time. It's the Habitat for Humanity. I think you know, all the proceeds goes to that. But he went on to join the Allman Brothers Band. Allman Brothers, as far as YouTubers go, I think Charles Trippy's dad used to play drums for the Allman Brothers. That's their connection there, Charles Trippy, Warren Haynes. Okay, for all you die-hard Warren Haynes fans, if you know that song, then you definitely know one of Warren's first songs when he first started out. The last time I saw Warren was another club, which is no longer there in Asheville. It's called Be Here Now. He used to come, I think he was in Government Mule then, used to come by and play, and I talked to him for a little bit after the show. But that was the last time I've seen him. That's been quite a while back. And he lives in New York now, so I think his parents probably still live here. But he gets back to Asheville every now and then, so that's good for us. Okay, so here's a shot of the sign. It's no longer there, but it's above the Cosmic Ballroom where it used to be. I think it's a restaurant now, where Warren used to play back with the Ricochet Band. Shot of the parking lot there. Hey guys, I'm going to show you a road that's named after Warren Haynes in Asheville, North Carolina. Down here on the right. So that's my Warren Haynes story. I'm sure, like I say, in Asheville, I'm sure there's thousands of them. But that's a little bit of the history of where Warren started. That's not pretty well known, I think, on the internet, Wikipedia, and places like that. They do go into a lot of the detail of how he got started. David Allen Cole Band, I think there was another little club in Asheville that Warren was playing called the Brass Tap. Little hole in the wall. He played there. I think it was the Brass Tap. I think he was playing there, and the bass player from Allman Brothers had seen him play there before. He came back and knew Warren was playing there. I think that's how the Allman Brothers thing got started. There's another club too in Nashville. They played with 45 Cherry, and I think that was where the first Christmas Jam was. Now it's so big now, it's at the Asheville Civic Center. I think the 20th anniversary they had a 2-day event. I think it's gone back to 1 day now. but it always sells out really quickly. So. Anyway, that's my Warren Haynes story.